Welcome back to Fortune Forecast. I am Daisy Raisler, your hostess. Today I'm sharing with you my top 5 tarot books that I have in my library. And these are by no means the top best books, but it were the ones that at the time, 30 years ago, I felt most comfortable with. And so I want to share with you what I have in my library. I could be very honest with you, I have not read any one of them from cover to cover. They're really there as a reference, and what I've learned to trust my intuition, and the reason that I have felt the need to have these books, and it's because I want to empower myself with more knowledge or to compare something with, as far as like I'm not an astrologer, so having a little bit of that resource and understanding the astrology as it relates to the different cards, that was really helpful. And so let me just get started with some of the books. I'll show you the very first book that I bought. And I laugh at it right now. I'm like, oh my God, I can't believe I actually bought this book. Book is called Tarot Made Easy. The front page just wants to always stay open. So, and this is by Nancy Garen. So one of the things that I can tell you about this book, if you're just trying to do it, just do tarot for yourself, this would be probably the book that you would get. The first section really is an explanation on how to use the book. But then as I bought the book and brought it home, I was like, oh my God, all the pages look the same after that. And so that's what I'm saying. This is really for that beginner person that would love to have a book to do readings just for themselves. The minute that I got a pack of decks on my hand, literally it wasn't days before I had people asking me to do tarot readings, and I'm like, oh my God. So literally trusting your intuition. So but definitely this is the book to get for a beginner that wants to do readings for themselves. So let me just share with you a couple things in the book that I thought were just really ABC 1, 2, 3 type of connection that I made with it. Was it went right in how to use the book. Of course I read that, and then I just jumped into this section here which talked about the major arcana, the minor arcana, and just that really basic understanding that what is it that I needed to know. And once I had that, then just started following the book as far as doing this one spread that they have, and it's called like the 32 category spread. So it's so simple that when you get into this and you lay out the cards out into that 32 section right across, there's a section for each one, and for each card it's the same thing, talking about what is in the reference to disappointment, endings, rewards, fortune, blessings, the physical body, finances. So it really broke it down for each card. So I outgrew this book pretty fast because it was that good. It was just I could just get in there. I'm like, oh, okay. I felt like I was someone that had just was on a bicycle, and then without a long time, and all of a sudden it just came natural to me. So it was just like, oh, okay. I felt like the book just gave me that little primer I needed, and everything else started to flow. Then I said, well, there's got to be more to this stuff, and I went ahead and I got the next level book up. Of course. Remember, I don't know if you all remember the 80s. Yes, I'm dating myself. In the 80s, everything was The Complete Idiot's Guide to blank. The Complete Idiot's Guide to Wine. I think I actually have that in my cupboard here. So, but I found this book to be really good. Oh, I love this. I have my prayer to St. Michael and Raphael and Gabrielle, and to my guardian angel. Oh my God. Okay, well, that's a sign. That's a sign. Okay, so we're going back to that later. Oh, and I love it. It was here in the Two of Cups. So this book, if you really want like a shortcut and you don't want to go into that, the deepness of tarot books, and you just want, hey, I just want to know some basics, this is that book. It talks about the archetypes, and it makes it in such a fun way with metaphors, explanations, little backstories, and it has the different just kind of guiding you through in a very fun way. Like here, what do you see in the cards? And then it starts talking about walking the fool's path, and it begins in there going card by card, talking about the cycle of the tarot and that journey through the decks. It also has layouts so that you can put them out in different combinations, and then it goes through how to do that type of reading for those layouts. See, a little explanation there, and then a little kind of workbook area so that you can, try it out yourself. So let me just kind of jump in towards the back, and then each one of the cards has a section, and it goes really in depth. And I like how it has these little fun sections. So it kind of brings a little levity into the heavy reading, so you don't kind of get frustrated with yourself. And then it has like a little Rolodex, and I know that, I don't know, how would they do that today with everybody having like phones? We don't have a Rolodex anymore. But anyway, it's a little area you can catalog, like little clippets to remember, remind you of what, that deck is. And so slowly you start getting ideas. Okay, what does the wands represent? What does, the pentacles represent? And so you start warming up to the symbols and what their associations are. So each card has its story, upside down, right side up, and a little explanation as it goes through the decks. So I have to say, if there was probably one of the books that got some extra of my time, might have been this book, as I would just use it for a reference, and it was really helpful. I don't remember this. Looks like I'm gonna have to go back to this. Okay, so those are the two big fat books. Then I don't remember why I bought this book. Oh, let me go back to this. I want to make sure you have the title. So, The Complete Idiot's Guide, Tarot and Fortune Telling. And it was by Arlene Tognetti and Lisa Lenard. Now, I kind of felt that after having two big fat books, maybe I needed one little book. Don't ask me why, I don't remember now. It's too many years later, right? And many readings from then. So here we have the Easy Tarot Guide. And here I think probably what draw my attention was the Celtic spread right away, since I had already been doing it from, the reference from the other books. And so this book is Easy Tarot Guide by Marcia, Masino. And this I really put some time into this book because I have highlights. Okay. So here on the 5 of Wands, 5 is the number of change, disruption of the stability. And so there we go. I was really working this book, but it looks like I stopped right there. There's no more highlights. I follow my intuition, and I suggest you do the same. The other good thing about this book is as you get to the end, it has the keys, really simple. And so you don't have to go through the whole book. You can just go right to the end if you're like some of these fire signs over here, Sagittarian, and we just we want to get right to the end. So you don't have to read all of this. You could just jump right to the back, and in very few pages, probably like about 8 pages, you get the whole book. Okay, let's see what else. The next one up that I have here, I think that this was a book that I felt really comfortable with too. I remember liking this book. I remember, like my mind remembers, hey, I really like this book. And it's called Choice Centered Tarot, and it's by Gail Fairfield. And I don't know why, but I still remember even now that I really like this. Very simple, and I'm beginning to feel the reason why. Let me just jump in here. So it talks about the structure of the tarot, talks about simple symbols and the aces, and just really goes in just to help the reader kind of get into the idea that it's really nothing more than what's inside of you, something natural, just that intuition of the tree. What does that evoke? Thinking about, what else do they have here? The sun, what does that evoke? The home, what does that evoke? So it's really, that's what tarot is. It's your ability to look at a couple images and make a story, and then the ability to connect it with another part of the story as it becomes a whole. But not only that, it's your ability to extract from your querent what they need to hear in relationship to what is showing up on your deck. So what I liked about this is the numbers. I remember that. This helped me really understand the minor deck because it could get a little bit complicated since you have the minor deck, then you have the court deck, and then you have the major arcana, which is just a whole different world. But in of it, it tells the whole story of literally any one of us. You know, we could bring that together. So it incorporates the concept of that numerology in a simple way. All the books did, but I remember that I connected with this book to understand the minor arcana in a very simple to read, simple to just digest. The book is really easy to digest. And like the section of the major arcana is really small, but each section is short and brief and just gives you just the highlight points that you would need to kind of, it doesn't, in a way, the way that I remember I'm kind of remembering my feeling towards this book was that I felt that it did not impose into me or, you know, affected my own, what I would say, my own ability to honor myself as the one that is doing the reading for my clients. It did not blemish this purity that I feel. It just allowed me to see from a different perspective. There's some of the books that get really heavy and you're trying to understand, do I really associate with that? So that's why I said I haven't read my books from cover to cover, but I definitely could tell you that they're there for reference. Every now and then, I could tell that probably the last 10 years I have not accessed them, but they're good to have. You never know, you know? Now this one was a gift from my mother-in-law. I love this book, Understanding Using Tarot. I was surprised that she even had this book. And so I'm like, yes, give me the book. I like it. I'll figure it out. I'll see what you got. But then I realized when I saw this book, this is a really good book to meditate. Hey, some stuff is coming out of my book. Hey, Neutrina eggs. That's when I've got my chickens, you know, so that's really funny. That is really funny. Do you do that? Do you just grab stuff and mark your books with it? Okay, so I've got prayers to do for my angels, and I have to think about go getting the eggs for my chickens. It's funny. Okay, so anyway, this book is by Understanding and Using Tarot, and this is by Emily Peach. And what I like about this book, to me, this is the book that you use to meditate with your card. And the reason why, it's because very clear, very, very easy to book. And I also love the fact that it's a hardcover. I love hardcover books. It almost makes me feel like this has a permanent place in my library. But this is what I thought was really, you would really get intimate with your card. You would lay it there. You would kind of contemplate and just read this and absorb, you know, that idea that this page belongs to this card, your card, that you lay here and you meditate and you focus on. And I believe that that's what tarot really is about. It's about an intimate journey to inner exploration and just valuable tool, because it connects us back to that idea that we still are kids, that we like colors and we like drawings and we like to tell stories, and it's comforting, and that the stories are all inside each one of us. So these are the top 5 books that I have. These are my top 5 books. I do have, I believe, and I just want to, maybe at some other time I'll share with you, it's not just these books. It's not just tarot. Becoming rich in understanding so many other things in divination, whether it's numerology, whether it's understanding people, and self-help books that allow you to dig in deeper into your own compassion so that you can be compassionate with your clients and helping them get through whatever they're bringing to the table that day. So I hope that you have found this useful, and thank you for spending this time with me. So either way, I'm going to put the playlist somewhere on here, so just click on there, the playlist for my daily tarots, if you haven't visited that yet.